good morning. Morning on Facebook and morning on Instagram if you're watching live, and hello if you're watching the replay later. I'm Maddie Harvey of Maddie Harvey Designs. I'm a knitwear designer and knitting teacher. I'm based in Edinburgh and I love helping knitters develop their creativity and their confidence with my knitting patterns and knitting kits and workshops and events. So this is my weekly video called Knits and Cake for Breakfast, and the idea behind it is that on a Wednesday, now I can't say I used to have a knit night because tonight is the first in-person knit night I'll be hosting for about 18 months, so I'm really excited. So I have done some baking and that's what I usually share on these videos, and I also do a bit of a behind the scenes sneaky peek of what I've been working on this week. So yeah, so my knit night is back on in person tonight, so it's going to be really lovely to see everybody in real life rather than on a computer screen. So I have made a cake with lots of berries and almonds and kind of a special secret ingredient. So I'll show you the recipe. It's from this book again, the Leon Happy Guts, which I'm kind of, well, not exactly working my way through, but I have cooked a lot of the recipes from it. So it's this one. It's supposed to be berries, orange and cannellini beans. That's the surprise ingredient. So I did it with, instead of orange, I used lemon zest. But I did do the cannellini beans, and I'm amazed at how well it's come out and how much it's risen, because I have tried these kind of recipes where you cook with unusual ingredients like beans. I think I did a chocolate cake or chocolate cookies that had kidney beans in them once. They didn't come out that great, but this one, I think it's come out really nicely. And it's a bit, you put some of the fruit in, so you make the mixture in the food processor, so it's really easy, everything in at once. Put it in the tin, and then you put most of the fruit in, and you have to poke it in with, like, I just used the end of a spoon. And then you put the rest of the fruit on the top with the flaked almonds, and then you sort of press some of them in. So you get some fruit on the top, because you know sometimes if you add fruit to cakes it can all sink to the bottom. So that method worked well. Oh, it's nice. It's got lemon zest and ground almonds. So yeah, that's come out really well. And I don't think anyone at knit night will guess that's got cannellini beans as the secret ingredient. I'll have to see if I can get them to guess that. So that'll be interesting this evening. So I've got some things to show you that I've been working on. Oh, Lynn's asking, is it, yeah, so it's flour, is it flour free? Yes, ground almonds, and I think the cannellini beans are supposed to replace some of the sort of flour, and also I think some of, oh no, because it does have eggs in. It's got 3 eggs, but it doesn't have any flour. That's it. Yeah, it worked really well. I think I would do that one again. Okay, what will I show you first? I finished my cowl. I finished the knitting. This side-to-side mohair cowl that I was working on last week. Try not to ping myself in the face with my needles. So I just need to Kitchener stitch the edges together, and then but what I'm trying to decide is whether to block it before I join it or block it afterwards. Sometimes with these sorts of cowls you can get a bit more length out of them if you block them before you join them together. And also when they're joined into the cowl shape, and you block, if you want to block them quite hard, like, you know, really stretch them, you end up with a kind of crease in the middle and it's like they're folded in half. So I think I probably will block it like this, and I might just keep it on the cord. These are what do you call them, interchangeable needles, so I can take them off, and then I can use the cord to pin, and I'll probably thread the word's gone out of my head, a blocking wire through the bottom here where I've got this provisional cast on, and block it, and then I'll join it, and I'll undo that and put that back on some circular needles, and then do a kitchen stitch to finish it off. So that was quite good going. That's how much of the lace weight yarn I've got left. I think it's about 3 grams or something, and that's how much mohair I've got left. So I don't really want to make it much bigger because it's actually quite a good size, and also I think it's wise to have a little bit left for a pattern, because everybody's gauge will be slightly different. So that's just about finished, and then I picked up the sleeves on my jumper that got lots of love last week when I posted a work in progress picture of it, but I had a little bit of I've had to rip it back twice. So this is the jumper, and the yarn is by the Wool Kitchen, and yeah, I picked up the stitches and started knitting the sleeve, and I had the wrong needles, the wrong size needles, so I had to pull it back. Then I went again, and then I realised that I had misread my spreadsheet of numbers, and I was decreasing. I had too many rows in between my decreases, so I had to rip it back, but not all the way. The first lot of decreases to here were okay, so I'm just re-knitting, but actually now I'm looking at the cake and I can see that I'm onto new yarn, so I'm not re-knitting previously knitted yarn, so that's always a good point to get to when you've ripped it back. But I don't think you can see, I can't really tell any difference. The ripped back yarn isn't very noticeable, bumpy or anything. So and I've sewed up the side here, and I've decided to leave the hem. I think I might have it as a split hem, but what I did was I left a long enough tail, one of these is the tail, from sewing up so that I could go back and sew that in if I try it on afterwards and see what it's like. But I'm quite pleased with the way that the mattress stitches come together there on the edge, because it's got a couple of sort of garter stitches at the edges here, but I think that looks quite nice. It's made a little feature of that with the contrast yarn, so that's quite good to make some progress with that. But what I'll need to do is, I've got very long arms, so I'll need to knit the sleeves as per the pattern for a kind of standard arm length, and then weigh the yarn and work out how much yarn is for one sleeve and do some maths, and then I'll probably have to rip back half of the sleeve so that I can add in some extra rows for myself, because otherwise when I model the jumper in the photographs, the sleeve will look like it's supposed to be 3/4 length sleeve, and it's not, it's supposed to be full length, but I always need to add quite a lot of length to sleeves, so that's what I'll need to do. So I'm not quite, I've got some more ripping back to do of the sleeve once I've actually finished it, but that's helps to make a more accurate pattern for everybody, so that's important. Yeah, so that's what I have been knitting on, but I had a nice arrival in the post at the weekend, which was some lovely mini skeins, mohair mini skeins from Botanical Yarn. I don't know if you can see, that's kind of, the light is blowing it out. The little labels are really cute. And these are to go in with my other bits and bobs of leftover mohair. So I've got that one, I've got that one, I'm not going to be able to hold all these, and I've got some of this brown, and I've got another one of this. So I think they all go together quite nicely, and they're going to be striped and held together with, let me just grab this, with some of the Cambrian yarn 4-ply in this very pale grey, and that's for a jumper for the mohair collection that I'm doing. So the cowl that I showed you is one of the patterns in the collection, and there will be, this is kind of a prototype, there will be a jumper like this, with the mohair held with the Cambrian full ply stripe, the different colours striped, because it's supposed, the idea is that you could use leftovers, maybe supplemented with a few mohair mini skeins, because quite a few dyers do them now. So they're going to look really nice, I think. So maybe when I finished a sleeve on my Wool Kitchen sweater that has no name yet, I will cast on for this one, because I need to get a move on it. But it is knitted on big needles, so I think it'll be pretty quick once I've started. So if you've just joined, I'll post a replay in a minute, because I think that's all that I've got to show you from behind the scenes this week. If you look out tomorrow, Thursday, I always post a tutorial or a tips post, so look out for that tomorrow, and I'll let you get on with your Wednesday, and hopefully see you next Wednesday. Okay, bye.